Okay. So now you would see that we shifted, right? This is your second standard deviation on the top. And here's the second standard deviation of the bottom. Does that make sense now? So previously, this was our value area. It still is. This is our 68. And now this is our second standard deviation is here. And the second lower standard deviation is here.
Yeah, when you change it to 95, it shows you that.
Exactly. So that's why I did that, right? Just so I can find the extremes. So now if you're, let's say we lose this deviation here, well, the 4-day balance, and if you guys look at the profile, you see that there's a lot of skinny belly here. We will have minor support here at this, in this case, I would call it like a low volume node. We have minor support here, but once we lose that, this 3940 becomes fairly important. And then, this would be very close to that VPOC that we have, I believe at 45. So there's the VPOC at 45-ish. So this would be kind of the zone and the target if we are to lose that level. Okay. So it's just something for you guys to think about. It doesn't mean that there's a written rule about it that, if this, then that, but it's more like statistical probability that you should be kind of looking at, if that makes sense. Just another weapon so you guys can use it.
I don't know, I was just gonna say, so it's more or less like something that you just want to be able to kind of see while you're like looking.
That's correct, right? Usually you will get a bounce, I would say, if you're to turn these on. If you're to turn these on, you will get a bounce and reaction in these ranges right here. You will get some kind of response, from profile to profile. Of course, you can't trade them, but look at this, for instance, here. You left this.
I noticed overall from what you're showing, it also kind of shows how like the I don't know, I always go by, but that head and shoulders is like, it looks like exactly the mirror image, just like how the head and shoulders, like I guess forms. What you showed there.
This?
Yeah. See how you've went up, and you're supposed to, like the head and shoulders kind of look.
Yeah, head and shoulders, just a typical, buyer's exhaustion format, meaning you run up, usually you should have a P-shaped volume profile. When your profile is skewed, when it looks like this, does anyone know truly what that means in terms of price and time? Who can put this profile in definition of price and time? What does it mean? Because you have this one, you have the B, and then you have this one, and then you have the D, right? And then you have the D that's a little bit, I guess curved, maybe if you close on the POC on the bullish side. So who knows what volume and time would tell you about this profile here?
It's bullish.
Okay, bullish. Tell me more why about price and time.
When I see a P-shape, I kind of see it, the time aspect, I see it as short, because I kind of think of like in the balance. So if we're all the way up top and most of the weight, I'll use that example, is up top, it's eventually going to tip over, so it's not going to last that long. That's how I kind of think of it in terms of time.
Okay.
I think of it as they quickly ran it up, and then now they're consolidating for an extended period of time to see what they want to do before the next move.
Okay. Think about price and time. I want somebody to think, what does this profile mean for you for price?
Well, they accepted it at a higher price, and usually I would think that, things like this, what must go up must come down. And eventually it's going to break and probably go down because, henceforth you'll have that big skinny belly under the bottom under that P.
Okay, think about price and time and peanut butter. Sorry.
In terms of price and time, maybe there's lesser time spent on the lower value and more time spent on the higher end of the range.
Okay, what did we say when we are spending a lot of time in the value?
You're consolidating.
That it's in balance.
That it's in balance. That means you're accepting the price at this level. So when you see a P-shaped volume profile like this, here, let me draw a big one. And your price is, let's say the chart looks like this. and then you do this. Why is that? You're not spending a lot of time here. The price exploded. The only reason why it exploded is that there was news or something driven where the value was no longer agreed to be here. So they quickly drove the price out of it. And now they find value here. So the price discovery is here now. This right here would take something else to drive it, whether it's news or something similar to drive it backwards. So in terms of time, when it's P-shape, you don't spend a lot of time on the bottom. Means it's a quick one. You go like this, and then you get this. And then if you're close above the POC, high, percentage, you're going to continue. If you close below, or the high volume node, if you close below it, that lowers your probability for continuation tomorrow. Okay. So price and time become fairly important, right? Because if you think about it here, you had a P shape with a close. We had a close that was bullish, right? You closed right inside the value area, even on the first volume node. What happened the next day? You ran it, came back, dipped below, ran higher. But then what happened today?
So during the thin part of that P shape, that would be like low volume.
This is super low volume. Think about this. The way you guys should think about these volume nodes is price. Let me price at volume. Like what is that? Does that make sense?
It's like fair price.
Well,
where the peanut butter salesman found the happiest buyers and managed to sell a lot of peanut butter.
So if you think about it, what all these bars tell you guys, when you just think simple, how much volume did we have at this price?
The higher the volume.
Did we have a lot of volume at this price today?
No.
Here?
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah.
Are you blind?
Yeah.
Guys, POC's here.
Yeah.
A lot of volume happened at this price. So this tells you clearly this was a quick rejection. They drove the price down. They reaccumulated here. They continue down. They're accumulating here. We're in a bearish pattern all around. The only way that this would change is if we open above POC tomorrow, we open somewhere here, or we open above the value area high here. If we were to gap up, we would be above range, and above value area, I would need to open here. So now, let me ask somebody that struggles with this. Where's my sentiment? If this is super bullish, call it B+. This here would be bullish, right? You're opening outside of the V8, but you would be inside the range. These days are tougher. These are usually trending days. And here, if you open inside the value area and inside the range, obviously, if you're inside the value and above POC, you are somewhat, I would say, neutral. Right?
Balanced, right?
You're opening and you're accepting the value that was created here.
Yeah. So
you sold off from here. You're trying to see if you're going to hold the value. Now, this PD value area low, right? The previous day low of the value area is going to be the kind of the telling sign what happens next. So now we're just going to watch. There's a high probability, what they typically like to do in scenarios like this is they accumulate here, and I don't know how, if I'm live. They like to do something like this, and they come to these high volume nodes, the last one accumulated, and then they go dump. So this is an ideal spot to short on lowercase b.
Okay.
Sometimes they trick you, like here. This is a lowercase b, and what did they do? They gave you a, if you guys look, they gave you a look here with a candle, reversal candle, right? And then they stopped you out. So no strategies, 100%. This is your risk management here. Okay. So does this make sense now that we covered it a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is all this is telling, especially if there's new people, this is just telling you volume at what price level. How much did we trade at this level? The higher the volume, the more, buyers and sellers, the higher the participation, the more value is created at that level. And then the quicker we get out of it, it most likely leads to a tail. So in this case, lowercase b has an upper tail, and the uppercase or lowercase p has a lower end tail, which is bullish, because means you rejected the lower prices went up. In this case, you rejected the higher prices, and you went down. That's all that means.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you guys think this is hard, how about if you create a volume? What if I give you guys times and sales and you guys create a volume profile from scratch? I think some of you guys might benefit from that. I'll give you a bunch of data points, and your job is to calculate it and put this into a graph.
I'm actually down.
Yeah.
Yep, that
And
sounds fun.
does anyone know what you need? What 2 pieces of information you would need?
Price.
Just need the time and the volume.
Careful. What does
Wait,
volume
Time,
profile?
price, and volume.
Price and volume.
Exactly. It's
Bid and
price
ask.
times volume. So you would need that. So if we know time and sales, let's say of 390 of SPY, and we executed 1,000 shares, well, if that's the highest amount that executed, what does that become?
See.
3,000.
It becomes a POC eventually, if there's nothing higher to it, right? And naturally, this price is going to attract more buyers and sellers, right? So I can give you guys an exercise where you actually draw it out, and then you would have to figure out how to calculate the value area range. I would leave it up to you guys to figure out the math, because I think if you're doing such an example, you would really appreciate this tool that volume TradingView gives you for free.
Yeah, I'm hella down for that.
Yep. So I'll put something together in Excel. I'll send it out tonight or tomorrow morning, and you guys can work on it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Okay. So obviously, I mean, who wants to summarize how to play this tomorrow? I want to see who gets it.
Let me pull up my chart.
PDL and PD value area low is the pivot. Below that not pivot, also line in sand. Lose that, you fly down at least 3980 to 50, 30 points. Nothing in between, open space.
Okay.
Above
Does anyone
that,
remember this level? I don't know if Bean's on. He should remember this level.
67.
It was 3966 at one point. It was 3966. They shifted it, I guess, a little bit here. Maybe I messed up. Maybe something like this. Yeah. I don't know. We'll check with Bean. He should be aware of this level about a couple of months ago as well, if he has memory of it. This was a really, really important level at one point. This was a level for upside. When we started running, this was the key level. So I would definitely pay attention to this. Is there another reason to pay attention to this?
That was bringing us right to
2022 POC.
There's 2 value area highs at that point as well.
Yeah, that's what I have. 2022 POC.
That's correct. And there's 2 value area highs, and somebody mentioned the POC for 2022. So this level is fairly important, the 66, right? If you lose this, there's a high chance that you come here, and you could surprise some people, right? So from here, instead of dipping all the way lower, right? You could bounce here, and you guys see what I did here? So I grabbed from Tuesday, today is Tuesday, right? So I grabbed basically 7 days FVP here, and what do you guys see here now?
Got a skinny belly.
Value area low.
Nice little shelf.
Yeah, this is your value area low of a basically of your 5-day balance, right? So if you took it from Tuesday to Tuesday, that's 5 days. So that means we have 5 days completed here. So now we know if you're able to defend this shelf, I would say if you're able to get over this shelf right here, right, you have a high chance to at least visit, the top here, and I'll probably be looking somewhere in this area, which, what is a 4015, 4016 level?
January POC.
Exactly. We know the
JNPOC.
January POC.
JNPOC.
So now you have a simple high probability setup here.
Mhm.
So you have a low volume node leading to a key level that's probably going to be magnetic, right? So we know this area here somewhere, and I can draw POC, this right here and uncheck this.
4056.
And this one is saying 410. I'm probably grabbing a candle too much.
Like 413, maybe.
Yeah, it needs to
Four.
be. I just can't grab it. Okay. Well, yeah. January POC somewhere around 415. Keep grabbing the wrong.
I got it at 416.25 January.
Yeah, so 416.75, but this POC here is going to be fairly important. And the value area high of that level is right there at the POC as well. So I would keep that in mind as I'm trading tomorrow. And I'm just kind of giving you a different perspective on how to look at the market. We look at it day to day to set up the bearish sentiment. But here's our, 5 days lookup, right? So if you're able to reclaim this level tomorrow, right, 3995, if you're a little bit more risk averse and you want to kind of go with the flow of majority of people that are going to be coming in, I would say this is not a bad level. Consider over 4,000. If you get this 3995, you're going to fly to 5,000. Oh, I'm sorry, 4,000. So 5 points, you can gain that, and then you can move your trailing stop somewhere in 2.5 points if you're already up, and then expect this bounce here and no reason to get out. Then put it at your entry, right, and manage it from there. But if we lose this level on the bottom, I would say really, really high chance you get to the 67 within 2 candles.
Shorty, remember we had a break level at 404. That was our break level. You said if you break under that, that was
that was 404.25.
That's still relevant to the upside, correct?
That was our previous week value area high.
We went like right through that.
Yep, I mean we went through it, so we're setting up, for 80% on the weekly here, which would drive us to the second point I was going to cover here is what?
3950.
Yeah, so you have the 3949, right? And you have this VPOC here at 3945. So if you look at this volume profile here, right? So it looks like to be a lowercase b, like I explained before, you do not typically run from a lowercase b here. We just covered something that we talked about. What does this mean in terms of price and volume?
Balance was at the lower end.
Balance was on the bottom on the bearish side, and then out of that somehow we found value and popped it quickly here, and the POC never shifted to the top side. So usually, and I think I touched this before, when you're in an uptrend, right, when you're running up, I'll just go max here for a moment. When you're running up, what's the shape profile you don't want to see at the top?
A D.
A lowercase b.
Lowercase b. You do not want to see a lowercase b, and the reason why I'm giving you these questions so you guys think about the answer before you throw it out. I don't want you talking like my kiddo that's 6. I need you to think. If it's a lowercase p that's bullish, that means you're rejecting the lowercase price and seeking higher prices. That means that price is chasing value or value is chasing price.
Value chasing price.
Value chasing price. But if you're already in the up market, if you're already there and you see a B, what does that mean in terms of price?
You tested higher prices and they don't like
prices chasing value.
And then the opposite,
Just do an analogy of the peanut butter guy. Now, the guy raised the prices of peanut butter to $48, And the people are like, oh no, man, that peanut butter is too expensive at this level. So they were stuck. They tried to auction, and you see them failing to give any full body candles up there, right? So that's kind of your sign here, right? That there's a high chance we're going to be failing. And then same here. I mean, you know, even today, it was pretty simple to trade. To me, this was a very, very easy telling day because everything was working the way it should in a typical market without a lot of manipulation. So they were not really involved in manipulation today. You know, you had your value area that was set here. You know, I think you opened right below it here. Maybe you didn't. So you stayed inside. And then, I mean, what happens? Immediate when, you know, what's his name? J-Pow comes out. They sell it through the range. And we talked about these volume profiles being really, really poor structure. So when something's poor structure, I promise they're not going to hold the price much.
You fly right through it.
Right. If these were D-shaped volume profiles with a lot of volume profiles and the VPOC POCs, that's when I pay attention to that VPOC, right? Is because the volume had an opportunity to accumulate and now you're coming to it. Well, most of the action happened there. So most likely the price is going to slow down a little bit. And when you guys ask me which one matters, which one doesn't, think about it. Think about where the value was accumulated. Like here, you know, this was a run up and this was basically profit taking and just closing in the day. I mean, did they care about this POC at all today?
Mm-mm.
They just slice through it. So that's how you can kind of decipher, right? And, you know, a lowercase b in an uptrend is not very healthy because you're rejecting the lower prices quickly and bringing them back down. That means usually you're going to have a continuation down once you break the POC, and that was the case here. Okay.
Yeah.
So tomorrow I would just mark the same levels, right? So if I was to, I would update the previous day value area highs, which you guys should not need much help at this point. Ooh, I didn't mean to touch that one. Is that what you guys have?
I have the low at 39.8250, the POC at 39.8950, and the value area high at 40.22. No, sorry, let me see. 40. Hold on a second. 40.22.
40.21.75.
Okay. 40.22. That's what I got exactly. Yeah, you're right. 40. Yep. I'm off a little bit.
Value area high.
Yeah. PD.
21.75.
Yeah, I got 419.
Yeah.
Okay. So now just look
Says the regular trade hours.
That's because I changed it.
Listen, I'm just keeping you honest.
Good. The POC shouldn't shift. Anytime that happens, POC should barely shift. So interesting enough, when I looked at the regular hours here, look at the 30-minute candles that we had here. I mean, even probably 2 hours. Look at the 2-hour candle here.
Very bearish.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys would point out?
Shorty, tomorrow, if we open inside that area, like inside the previous week POC, and then we drop down, it'd be better to wait for the retest, right, and then go short.
I think honestly tomorrow just might flush, and there's a reason why I say that. Anyone knows why?
Powell.
If we break the level.
Well, Powell's speaking as well. He's testifying again tomorrow.
Okay. What about reason wise? Why would I not probably wait for a retest here?
Again, single print at the bottom. That's why.
Yeah, it's single prints, and this prior day that's remaining here is poor. If this shifted differently, right, I would play it differently. But this volume profile is not telling me to spend too much time waiting here. This is poor structure here.
What do you mean by single prints?
Single prints, if you look here, you know, there's not a lot of thickness on the body of the volume profile. So if you're to look at the TPO, right? If you were on live today, towards the end of the day, I brought up the TPO count, and you see those ones. Remember how there was 111 and there was no number next to it?
Right.
So that means the auction never overlapped with those buyers or sellers. In this case, it was sellers because it was on the top tail. That means the sellers were never basically coming back. The auction never came back to them to overlap the auction. They just single sold. It was basically an aggressive selling that it never brought back the price.
Right. Okay.
So here, I mean, this is, you know, very poor structure in the wrong place, and most likely we would just fill this all the way to here. Is there anything else that you guys see here?
And that 2-hour thing which you were showing, volume was dying as we were going down.
Ah, okay. I was hoping somebody's paying attention. This one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so what you see here, even though you have the price action moving up and down on some of these candles, which, you know, that takes a little bit more volume, right? Instead of just down. Here you have people fighting and then back down, right? So you would expect some of these volumes to pick up. So this is just an intraday, I would say, warning sign, hey, that maybe there's a potential for reversal soon, right? And I would think that 39.50 will be a good spot. And then if they don't, right, if they don't do this, then we know we get at least 26 points to the bottom of January value area low, which is a really, really high probability in this case, if they're to do that. That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if, I don't know who knows, maybe TJ. Does anyone know the COT? It's called the, like the COT. I don't know if there's indicators, if anyone ever used it. Let me see this. That's, has anyone ever heard of COT?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Negative.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that before.
It's just basically your commitment, called commitment of traders, right? So, and there's different types of things that you can integrate it, right, into the, usually you have to see, I don't know which platform has it. Sierra Chart has a really nice one, where you would be able to tell where the volume happened. It's basically your footprint. I'll be able to tell where majority of the action happened on this candle. So let me see if they have footprint. Oh, maybe here. Is there a certain? Okay.
So it's
Yeah, I don't know.
like diamond sales on a visual diagram sort of stuff. We didn't ask.
That's correct. Yeah, you would see it on a diagram, and when they give you little levels. I don't know how to use it. I wish I could find one that works, but
I think Jigsaw has one.
I was gonna
so
ask.
here you go. It basically would look like this. So if you guys go on a candle, this is what I was looking for. So if you guys go on a candle, it would basically tell you the price action, what happened. Price down volume to the left of the candle, custom candle, blah, blah, delta total volume, cumulative delta. You know, if it's positive delta, most likely it's being absorbed. You're going to get a bounce, and then percent volume down. Okay, so this just does the count. Yeah, he has a lot in this, but yeah, you see the numbers the way they're pointing. It tells you where the highest concentration of the volume happened on a candle. So, and same like volume profile, right? If majority of the price action happened in the middle of the candle, what would you guys think that means?
Maybe like the point of control.
See, it means identical, same thing as volume profile. It's just that we're looking at candle per candle, right? So if majority of the trade happened and the volume happened in the middle of the candle, that would be indecisive, meaning D shape. In terms of commitment of trader, right? That's what that would mean. If the volume is, on one side or the other side, it's the same thing as volume profile. If you're in an uptrend and you're seeing, a P and there's a lot of volume, and you close that candle at that high or above that high where the volume happened, there's a high chance you continue higher. I don't use it because I don't have it, but it's not a bad tool. Whoever has CR chart, I don't know if we can incorporate it here. I'll look it up on TOS. I don't think I have it. But it wouldn't be bad to kind of see that. Maybe give you guys a visual.
I asked lost people, they said they don't have it. They have simply time and sales, and you have to really train your mind to think of how it would look on a footprint.
Yeah, I mean, it becomes a training, but just like you're training on volume profile and market structure, a lot of people, that, at least that I've seen fail on volume profile, you really want to pick it up overnight. People come in, it's like, oh yeah, man, this makes sense. I know I'm gonna buy here, sell here. There's a lot more scenarios and studying that needs to happen for you to understand it. Once you start thinking about, what I'm kind of alluding a few times about the price and the time and then the volume, once you understand those three concepts and they really gel together, it will be hard for you to buy something at the wrong value. You will become almost automatic to search for where the value is to buy something.
Yeah.
I
can understand that. Yeah. Shorty, tomorrow, just to reiterate for a second, at the break of the PD value area low, whether we get a retest or not, it's very doable to go to the next to the 2022 POC because of there's hardly any volume there, right?
That's correct, and I would just be cautious of this 3967 level.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, so this level carries some weight. This is a POC from February 23rd.
Yeah, the 2022 POC, you mean?
Well, the 2022, but you also have a most recent one, February 23rd. It's POC, which is right around that area, right? 3966. And this level, if I was to draw a line here.
Okay.
Let me draw just a horizontal line here and kind of back off of it. Just pay attention to this level here. You see this? Let me change it. Damn, Dirty Max, you're driving me crazy. So the thick black line, right? So look at 3966, right? You see it here, rejection, you're dancing around it. I mean, a lot of it. Here comes a bounce off of rejection. This level is fairly, I would say, important for us to move lower.
Yep. I see it.
So I would definitely watch it tomorrow, right? And that's their last kind of chance that they can hold something and do something here.
Okay, thank you.
So if you're shorting from here, I mean, this is pretty good, 15 points. You can make a couple of 100% on SPX. And I think yesterday we had a fairly good, watch list when we did the class as well. On Monday, we talked about it. I talked about it last night when we hopped on, and then I wrote it up this morning with the scenarios and which one was most probable. And the favorite, and my favorite was the one that played out.
Yeah.
And for a lot of you guys that doubt yourself, don't fight the trend at least. You know where the bias is, you know how to look at the bias. Even now, for a lot of you here, we've determined what the bias is. And if we open inside this value area, we're going to be neutral. In that case, if you're neutral and accepting the range, that means you short the tops, you buy the bottoms.
Buy the bottoms.
Until you're no longer given that opportunity, and that's why risk management. But remember, we're probability traders. We're not. I don't know which way the market's going to move. I just learned over time how it plays. And the same thing repeats a lot. So that's the idea behind it, is to train your brain to do the same thing.
If you look on visible range volume profile as well, under the PD value or low, there's like no volume under that until that 3967 level as well.
Yeah, I mean, this has a little bit here on this node. And if you're to grab this, right, I would, if you grab this area right here, and the POC is going to be right here as well. Let me hide this. Look, POC is right here. So if you're able to lose this area right here where we accumulated from, once you lose it, there's a high chance that you're going to slice this, come here, you lose that, then most likely you're coming back here. And this is your imbalance candle. So I would just know, I don't do this on every chart, but just know where the 50% of this candle is. High chance they're going to be coming back to fill this. Okay, I would think that POC right here is going to be filled, but let's see. I would expect them to kind of come back here, and that would be that, I guess, VPOC there that we have. So no reason to double market.
The March 2nd VPOC.
This is our VPOC at 39, I believe.
45.
Yeah.
Say, sorry.
Like a dump coming here now. Yep, go ahead.
Say we weren't on this like bearish sentiment right now, and you were talking about that run up that occurred, the POC that you just grabbed. That if we were like neutral, right? What was
this one here?
I think it was the one
right here.
Yeah. So if say we were neutral, would you go long there because you're expecting those buyers to still be there?
Yeah, I would go along here tonight. Yeah, I would go along here if it comes here.
Okay.
I mean, we made higher lows here so far. So right now, if you think about it, we're still making higher lows here. So this one here breached a little bit, but let's see how we react to it. Until this is broken out, there's no reason for me not to trust that POC right now, wherever I think it's somewhere in between these two levels. There's no reason not to trust it for now. We don't have any indication that they want to break it.
Right. That makes sense.
But just remember, the price came here for a reason. Price did not just magically show up at this level. We are here, now we are here. This wasn't a good area. This wasn't a good area because we explored higher. So now either we're going to agree that this is a good area here, or we're going to say, hey, that area no longer good. We're going lower. That means then we test this area and see, hey, but do you agree that this is a good value area? If they say no, I think this is where you headed eventually, but yeah.
Well,
I think this can happen by Friday. I mean, it's only 100 points. I mean, you ran here, guys. I mean, you guys should not be shocked. You ran from here to here, 160 points, and nobody said, wow.
Yeah, in what, 3 days?
2 days.
2 days.
So from here to here, it's even less. That's a piece of cake. Should drop here tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah, so most likely you're going to get a bounce here now. There's a lot of volume coming in. So now you need to see if there's initiative sellers coming through, or if there's a volume pickup. Let's see. I'm just going to go in 2 minutes to see how it looks. So now you see, where are the sellers, right? Are they willing to go higher here, or are they finding value? Because here's the previous one. So you have what, like 50 seconds. I know it's boring probably for some of you, but there's 40 seconds left. So they're not able to break it. Now it's important to see what they do here. So shouldn't this candle have a little bit bigger body here, considering the amount of volume?
Yeah.
Think?
Yeah, it's called effort and result. Means that this candle's a little bit odd now. You have a top wick, a little bit bigger tail on the bottom. So if I was able to produce a volume profile for this candle itself, this would most likely look like what? What shape would this be?
Lowercase b.
Let me ask again.
P shape.
It would
P
be
shape.
P shape. This means you're long here.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. And yeah, and you see why this was a pretty good low. So now, if they're smart, they're gonna stop the bulls, and they were just gonna come back to here, and then they continue higher. But that's if I was playing it to get you guys out. Because here, what do you guys see? What does Dumpsty see on this chart?
Failed auction.
No, Dumpsty sees an ascending triangle, and he would go along here in a breakout. And most people would get stopped out if you give them a little wick and then come back halfway, they're gonna stop out, and then you go off without them. And just watch.
You said it was like semi-triangle?
I'm sorry?
You said a triangle, you said?
Yeah, I was making a joke. Some people see this as an ascending triangle. It's not an ascending triangle. It's an inside joke of the Discord. I see a lot of people on Twitter post ascending triangles and a downtrend. Ascending triangles should never be looked at as bullish in a downtrend. It's a continuation pattern, so you should not really be looking to go long here till it breaks retest and then go long. We should bounce here on this candle right here. If they're doing it right, this is a bounce. Yeah. Okay. So is everybody clear on the plan tomorrow? I'll write it up again this morning once I see how we open, but is everybody fairly clear?
Yeah.
Okay. As you're seeing these candles, I'm just trying to kind of train your brain. As you're seeing these candles, think about them as a volume profile, right? And if you're not familiar, for instance, with volume profiles and the shapes, if you're new, go through these that we have here, right? That breaks down the volume shapes and what they mean. I'll give you some insights on them and maybe summarize it to yourself so that way you know how to trade it, what it means, things to consider. And I strongly urge you to kind of read it so that way you understand, so you can kind of reference that to what we are doing in terms of trading and even in the footprint of a single candle. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep.
And now would be the best time to break this and go higher if they're gonna do it. Because now the retail sees this as a triple top.
Hey, Shorty, did you post a new PowerPoint?
I will post it on Sunday because we're gonna review the class on Sunday. Is gonna be with the new PowerPoint, and there's quite a few more slides in it now than it was last Friday. So we'll cover that. Right, I'll add some pieces to it. For the opening range, there's 3 types there that I'll add for us, and a few more pieces about volume profile itself.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. So any questions for ES and how we plan on playing it? Anyone confused about the value areas, what I talked about, standard deviations?
No.
Okay, that's good. If you are, that's okay, man. Don't be the kid in the back of the class that's afraid to raise their hand. And there goes the triple top. They're gonna trap it. You need to go close above it, and then you're gonna come back inside and go long. But that worked pretty good. All the shorts here probably that were looking to short the top probably got stopped out. But did this make sense here? I would have played this long, just volume and this. You're watching key support and you're watching for tail to see if the volume increases. And as you approach this level, you saw how volume, I mean, look at the volume bars. I would say this is your highest volume since.
Yeah.
Let me go here. Maybe go 5. It's your highest volume since this candle here. So once you clean this candle up and this accumulation, this is going to run probably to this level again. And here we go. It's most likely going to happen now. And what do you know? Boom. So now you're going to be looking for entry. This is not your entry. You're looking for entry now to see where it falls back in so you can find it. And there's few ways to find it. There's this way, like, right? You're going to go aggressive. You're going to be looking for something like this to bounce here. I wouldn't trust this after hours. And then you see here, they're changing another structure here. They're rejecting that. So if they go over this, this is going to be pretty good. This area becomes golden then for re-entry. So that's at least how I look at price action. And by now I would have been up. In this case, it would have been up 3-4 points, but let's see. We'll just watch. They're going to bring it back here probably. But notice the volume is, as we're going up.
Went down a lot, no?
Yeah, the volume's not really like, hey, we're doing good here. They're failing to find more buyers that are willing to take the price higher. They find buyers here. They're not finding buyers here. So that's unusual. Meaning, you know, it's not valid move so far. And here it comes. Yeah, if you're using fibs, Nella.
What time frame are you on, Shorty?
Just 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute.
1 minute. Okay.
So if I'm using fibs, for instance, and I'm looking at swing high, but you know, the fibs is all about symmetry, right? So if I want to know the rejection from this high to this low, all I need to do is I need to find from here to here, and you can lock it in so you're a little bit more accurate.
You gotta hold control.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I just did not have both hands on the keyboard. So this one here, if you're looking here, you rejected the the golden pocket for me personally is here. This is your kind of golden pocket for rejections. Do I short 50? Yeah. If I see and you're in a trend day, I'll short the 38.2 and the 50%. I trust the 50% more than 38.2 just because 38.2 means you're really, really, I would say, aggressive in the trend, right? So, and usually you don't get those a lot. So that's why I don't use it a lot. Did you guys see where we bounced?
Yeah, the 50 and the 68.
So if they want to continue higher, this was your entry right here. You bought this candle here. And while most of you would be terrified to buy a candle that's a full body bear candle, that's actually what the price action would tell you to do, is to buy here. How many of you would have bought it here?
Not many. No.
Funny, right? Isn't that interesting that not many would buy it and we all want to trade and be successful? So how do you think they do well against you guys?
It's taking a candy from the baby, that's all.
It's pretty much simple like that. So yeah, on the fib side, right? If I want to know now the sell-off point and the 50% retracement, I look for 50s in this case, for instance, like here. This would be the 50 point, 40.32 would be an important level here. I know there's a volume node from one of these days sitting here. Just a memory, I guess. So there goes the kind of the level here, 40.32. It's in a skinny belly right here. So I would expect that this works, but I wouldn't wait till here to short it. I would not personally short 50% here. Does anyone not see why I would not?
It's a skinny belly warrior?
Yeah, I'm not gonna trade. I'm not gonna short skinny bellies. Once the price enters a skinny belly, I'm not an idiot to short it because I know there's no liquidity. That means if there's no people willing to sell there, the price is just going to go higher. Right? If I'm saying, hey, I can't sell the peanut butter at 432, but I can sell it at 436, but there's no sellers here, what does this buyer have to do?
Buying higher, paying for more.
Yeah, there's basically telling you, I have no peanut butter at this price. I have peanut butter here. So if you're buying from here, you get in, you're going to quickly drive the price up to sell here. And a lot of people don't understand that concept, right? It's just simple market auction that happens. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So if you're looking for fibs, find that on the large moves, right? It's important that you know where the 50 and where the 50% discount is. So I'll go on a different chart just so it's cleaner. We'll hide this guy. I'll leave these zones for now. So if I was to go on like 8 hours or something like that, and I was able to see the low, I'll hide this. So if you guys look, this is our October lows and this is my highs. You can use the fibs, right? It should be here. And I can find the whole thing. Where's the 50%? And you guys see here last time, 39.38, we bounced there, right? Off of this. Even though that's not a valid swing high for this, right? It's more to find this bounce here. I would have used this to find this. And if I wanted to find this guy, I really should kind of use here and find that. And you see where we bounced right here. We bounced right off that golden pocket. Does that make sense? So low to high, you're looking for swings like this. And then high to low, you're looking for rejection. So if I was to grab this to here, you see that we are hitting the 50% as well. In most cases, 50% is considered almost like a discount in a premium zone. So let me see. So if you guys look here, above here, I'm on the larger time frames on 3 days. Everything above here is considered premium price. Once we dip below this, it'll be considered a discount price. And usually, you guys should know by now that hedge funds don't like to pay premium. Right? And this applies to pretty much all of them. So if you go, let me make this thing a favorite here so I can have it.
What do you mean by don't want to pay premium?
Well, think about yourself. What's your hobby?
Are you playing basketball?
Okay. What shoes do you like?
What's that?
What shoes do you wear for basketball?
Just 11.5.
Okay. What's the best shoe that's most expensive for basketball?
It's Michael Jordan.
Okay. Why don't you have Michael Jordans that are 10K?
What's that?
Why don't you buy yourself shoes that are 10K from Michael Jordan?
I can't afford it. It's too expensive.
Okay. So now think about Michael Jordan shoes. They're in a premium. They're $10 or $10,000 here. Let me ask you a question now. If the Jordan shoes dropped $50, what would you do?
Definitely will buy it.
So at premium at 10,000, you're not a buyer. At a discount, you are
Buy it.
a buyer. That's what that is. I can't explain it any better if you're confused.
How do you calculate or look at the premium pricing?
I look at it based on the fibs, and the 50% usually is a guide in a lot of people's algorithms, especially on the floor that they use it. It's usually a guide. Hey, am I paying a premium or a discount on it? And then when you add kind of like a VWAP, right, volume weighted average, right? Some of them use custom stuff. Some of them have standard ones like we do, whether it's monthly, weekly, and they play off of that. So for instance, here, let's look at this. So if you look at this here, so here's your, I believe this is your monthly VWAP here. you see here, for instance, the price is above the monthly VWAP, means it's in a really strong demand, right? And they're buying it above the VWAP. Then, you see them that we cross below on the monthly and the price is no longer in demand. It's kind of deviating away from the VWAP, which tells you that there's some auctions leading away from the VWAP. Most likely they're going to be, I would say, looking for lower in the distribution. So if there's auctions that are like to buy price at VWAP, which is volume weighted average, based on volume, where should the price be? Well, they also pair that with something like fibs and a fair, fair value of something. If I tell you, let's say, the favorite place that you eat on Fridays, it's 100% more. On Saturdays, it's 50% less. What day are you going to eat?
Saturday.
Would you ever eat Friday?
No.
And what does that make you as a buyer? What type of buyer you become?
Responsive buyer.
You become a responsible buyer because you're waiting for Saturday to eat instead of going Friday and paying a premium.
So the premium price, does that mean like the price of the stock market, like it's staying the same?
Well, price of an asset at a point in time. So right now, if you look at it, let's look at it on the higher time frame. If I look at the price of a stock market since 2009, it's all point in time, right? I mean, there's no right or wrong way. If I'm looking at it here, we're in a very much premium level. A fair price, at least the 15%, the median price comes at 27.35. So my question to you is, are you willing to buy S&P 500 here?
Still, is that the 50 mark?
This is the 50 mark.
Oh, that's 50. Sorry. Yeah.
Then
Then
if you grab the fibs or whatever here, you see the split. So most people don't like to buy when something's super high, and the only people that buy here are impatient ones. And you can look at this on many, it depends what kind of trader you are. If you're a super long trader, maybe this is a good trend, right? I mean, you're looking at 2009 since the crash till now, till this whole bull run. So, I mean, you've been in a bull run since here, to here, you've grown 600%. So is it a premium if you're paying something, what is this, 14 years back, you would have gotten a 600% discount?
You're banking.
At least think about it that way, right? There's no right or wrong way to grab it. But when you think about, like, for instance, I got into shares today. If I just look at this, why was I in here?
it's at a 50% mark.
What was y'all's felt today on this? Anyone got it? Okay. That was one of the reasons, right? Why I got this, right? So for me, I consider a discount. Is there a high chance it goes 32? Yes. If it goes there, I'll buy more.
36.9 was my fill, by the way, Shorty.
Yeah, that's a pretty good fill, I would say. You got it here. You got it better than me. I think mine was, I guess. Forgot what I paid. I didn't go off of I did a market order, so. Golly, Fidelity takes 45 minutes to get in.
The pro share, is that the actual stock ticker?
Say it again.
The pro shares, is that an actual stock tick?
Yeah, SQQ is yeah, that's a ticker. That's an inverse of Q's. So I got 37.96. And you got 36.90? I don't know who said that, but that's a pretty good damn fill. 36.90 is very good. Okay. Is it funny where we stopped here? Right at the 50%.
Yeah, I had to double check. It was 36.96.
Wow, that's a hell of a fill, dude. That's a really good fill. I was not patient enough for that. I think you got it somewhere here then on this candle, this pullback.
More than likely.
Yeah, that's very good. Good job. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me. I'll share my insights in the morning. I'll write up the scenarios at least that I'm seeing, and let's go from there. But as of right now, I would say we're leaning a little bit bearish. Depends how we open. If we're, damn you, Eversource. If we're inside the range where we open tomorrow, then we know that there's a high chance that they're going to accept that balance. If they do accept the balance and then we break this level, there's a chance that we pop higher. Which we know the 40.15 level will be interesting to us. So we'll watch that. But, I would say we would need to explore this area outside, meaning break 422. No, there's a 425 level that's fairly important. If we break that, then I would say most likely we will go to this area here, which we also have a nice accumulation POC.
Shorty,
somewhere around 40.50.
You don't think Powell testifying tomorrow is going to affect things again?
If Elizabeth Warren is questioning him, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think the percentage of people are thinking it's going to be a 50 base pointers to up to even 75.
It could be. At this point, this is not about fear creation, because I don't think they have much fear left to give you guys. Right? So now they actually have to do it and stop talking about it. Because if they say the 50% is high odds and they don't do it, what happens to the stock market?
Are rally again?
Gonna run like crazy. So until I see them do it, I mean, it's all speculative, right? And then you see the zero DTs are exploding in the amount of $20 trillion a day. That's not normal. So there's a lot of speculations on that. And I'm not going to go into politics, but politicians, I would say, are at fault for the inflation due to their spending of the government money. And then you kill the guy that his hands are tied on what he has to do, because it wasn't his decision to make the interest rate zero, right? He does not solely make that decision. He was pushed by people to go to zero. They had to stay at zero for a longer period of time, and then the banks and others profited. And then you grill a guy for no reason for bad policy when your bad politics got it there.
Yeah, and less printing money.
Hey, Shorty.
Well, it's Keynesian economics.
Shorty, that 425 level we rejected once already off of it. So would you say if we that could be a good short?
There's a high chance we revisit that level. Yep.
Yeah.
I would say once we break this level, be aware of this monthly VWAP here.
Yeah.
Once we reclaim that, I would say here 4,000. We have a high chance to run 415 at least.
Yeah.
It gets choppy until we.
Yeah.
Because right now you guys are creating it's kind of like creation of value. We really haven't made higher highs. I know this run here seemed pretty wild, right? But when you think about it in terms of levels here, I'll just draw this high and this here.
Yeah.
Have we really moved the needle yet?
No.
It's 140 points range, so it's not like we moved a lot. And if I hide this, now look here. We've been in a similar range since November.
Well,
some spikes above, of course, you're gonna have those, right? Based on news.
Yeah.
Some spikes below.
Below, yeah.
And here's your area here that's rejected. now confirmation of rejection was here.
Yep.
Now here you accepted this area, you popped, they sold it, they came back here. Now they're most likely gonna come back to this area here and
Yeah.
test it again. And we know what's there, right? We've been there a
Yeah.
few days
been
back
there.
when they
Mhm.
exploded from it.
Yes, sir.
And then we know, for instance, that this level here was crucial for this run up. And we're gonna change this guy to not extend. We know that eventually you're gonna come back here, and I will be a buyer at this level on some longer swing contracts.
Yeah.
But that's just
Okay.
playing the volume and them. I don't know if you guys pay attention, but it's just interesting. The news are always formed around key levels of a stock or a market. Anytime you're very close to hitting resistance, there seems to be news coming out. Anytime you're at support, it seems like there's news coming out.
Funny
Just
you
pay
said it.
attention, you'll see it.
Interesting.
It's almost like it's automated.
That's interesting. Never thought about that.
Well, just go look at Amazon, look at Moderna chart on like monthlies.
Yeah.
Here's Moderna. Last time when we came here, does anyone remember what happened?
COVID.
Well, in this one here recently,
Oh.
November, they said there was a new spike, there was new lockdowns coming in. And then Moderna announced some sale of some crap vaccines
New
immediately
pill
here
or
at this
something like
level.
that.
And I think I mentioned here, surprised Moderna didn't have, well, we don't have a new wave of COVID. And it literally played out, almost doubled from here.
Yeah.
So now when we approach this, and I would keep an eye, and I don't think this is the cycle that we are going to go in. I don't think we're going to go into this. These people made money, right? So if you look here, for instance, let's go on the monthly. Here's your 2020. Look at this on, for instance, on Pfizer. I mean, you accumulated here lower. You had a distribution here, but you didn't go very far with distributions. You came here and then you reaccumulated here. And then I would say, where's COVID? I would say this candle is COVID. This candle is COVID here. Just very interesting that right before COVID, that the stock drops from 30 to 26.
That was COVID. So March was COVID. That drop.
Yeah,
That
so
was the
this was
COVID.
the drop, but you accumulate here for how long in this range? And you make a market maker pattern right on the stock, right to the support.
Oh yeah, we accumulated for a while there.
I mean, think about this.
A long time.
It just seems like it was accidental.
It's nothing by coincidence, dude. Nothing.
So is that a long? We go long?
I'm sorry?
27, that's when you should go long.
Well, yeah, if this comes to 27, this is a bargain. Even if you grab this whole thing here, this POC is not going to shift. This is a really heavy company. The market cap of this company is huge. So if you get a volume that's like this and POC is there, you better believe that once you come to this level, this is a good buy. At least it is for me.
Do they give a dividend, Shorty?
Yeah, they do give them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is a giant.
I'm still waiting on AT&T short.
Yeah, T is good. I think it's at 18 or so. If you can get this, I'm telling you, if you can get this at these lows here, like where it was, I mean, they were not really shy to say that they're buying at these levels right here. Look at this candle here. I mean, think about it. If you have some of their dividends right now, they pay pretty decent dividends. I mean, $14 stock. And I believe they do quarterly, so think about it. It's pretty dang good. So 4 times, let's say 30 cents, $1.20 on a $14. You do the math, how much you need to make some decent money on it. Does that make sense? Yeah. I mean, this coming. If it can come here, I'll be all in. Not all in, but I'll go heavier on this.
90%.
Yeah, this is a good one. I'm still watching, Verizon. I have some of this in my portfolio already. And you see them here coming to this accumulation here. So they have a little bit more to drop, and they've been in this range for some time. Like, this is a pretty wide range. Not too far from that level. They'll be here. This is coming up to another good level for me. Yeah, I'd be interested in this level. This is a really good level, and they have really good dividends too. 51 cents. So if you can get this cheaper, that's a steal. And somebody posted this, but this is also, maybe you can't do it here. There's a fund by JP Morgan that pays really good dividends. What's Carnival? Is it Car? CCL. Oh my God, they got destroyed and they never recovered. So I would think this is gonna be eventually, just like how we had cycles and everything else. This is gonna cycle out of here. Man. Phew. I'll potentially be a buyer at $3.86 just because of their assets at that point. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me. I'll post the stuff in the morning and we'll go from there.
All right, buddy. You gonna be live tomorrow, Shorty?
Yeah, let's see how the action starts with JPOW, and if it starts aggressive, yes. If it starts super slow, I'm not gonna watch it drive.
Okay.
When stuff like that happens, it itches to trade, and you're quick to pull trades that you shouldn't pull.
Yeah.
So, and this guys, this looks pretty good even here. Does anyone see why?
Megaphone pattern.
This looks. I know people hate it, but actually I like this stock right here.
It's on sale, Shorty. You should run away.
No. Shorty likes to buy stuff. I really like this. Holy crap. I mean, this was at $6. Oof. If anyone wants to volunteer and alert the hell out of us if this drops below 10. Yeah, let's get our signals in. Because this could be a bargain. You can make 40-50% on this. So whoever wants to track that one, go ahead. This looks good.
Still, no one's cruising.
Yeah, Carnival, and I think there's Royal Caribbean. Look at the recovery there. From 31 to 76. Holy shit. From July to here is 100 and something percent. 150%. Anyone have an idea why we're rejecting here? It's not obvious at all.
Is that the 50% fit yet?
No, I mean, this is a major volume. There's so much volume accumulation here. This probably be the value area low. Yeah. There's a shitload here. I mean, it's actually a really good spot to short this. We also executed ABC pattern, I would say fully. Yeah, we did that one. Let's see, where's 1618? We didn't finish the 1618, but this looks pretty good here. I mean, look at the daily candles here. I'll do some research. I'll check some of this. Let you guys know what I found, because this looks very interesting that it rained this much.
Yeah, why is that instead of Carnival? It's like super low.
Yeah, Carnival has more depth than Royal Caribbean. But this is just very, very interesting here. Okay, very close to this pre-COVID level. Yeah, honestly, I'll be interested to take some swings on this. And yeah, this does not make sense for me not to swing. I'm talking somewhere because this is summer, so summer coming up. And I don't know if people feel comfortable going on cruises. I know Josh does, but I don't know if I would feel so comfortable going yet. Not because of COVID, just because of the shit. And I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of being locked into a boat. Yeah, this is setting up for a swing short. I'll probably look for like May puts. And I'll probably look like May 60s, May 55s. Somewhere in between here.
Would you trim it at the call it the accumulation?
Say it again.
Would you start trimming the puts at the 50% mark or 618 below?
I would most likely start if I was to trade this one, if I play it tomorrow. You can definitely trim some at 65, but I don't see much volume here to stop it. There's really nothing here. Till 42, and even worst case 52, which I think would come here, and this golden pocket would be my target.
Yeah, that's where I was thinking the trim puts.
Yeah, but first we gotta buy them. Can't trim something you don't have. So yeah, I'll watch this tomorrow, see how we can get into that. As long as we don't make a high here, take out this cluster here, I'll be interested. Because retail sees a bull flag here. I'm seeing a potential dump
Most
here.
people failed right on the bullish candles.
Say it again.
Is that a failed auction on both of those green candles up there?
Yeah, there's a failed auction here. There's a volume increase here. I just wish that this, well, the week's not ended, but if this volume goes above this one here and we get a little bit of a stopping volume, it might be interesting here. You see here, look at this pin bar here with that uptick in volume. As you're hitting supply and you're not taking the liquidity, you don't even have buyers to auction higher here. You already made a lower high, lower low, and you have you almost have a really nice reversal pattern here, like an island here. If you go into this, you'll find some of these that repeat like this, and they're usually dangerous. There's one right there, similar. There's one pretty much right here. It's just that the second, third candle exploded lower. So yeah, I would watch this tomorrow. Usually you want to short below 72 here. I would short sooner than that. I would short it here below here, 72, 75. They're buying Oxy again. Good. Yeah, Oxy was at a really good level here, guys. Remember we talked about this level? I don't know if you guys do or not, but this was a really good level for Oxy. If they get this back in, we're going 73 here. All right, guys. Well, that'll be it. My throat's about to dry out. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll see where we go, and hopefully we can have a similar day as we did today, because it was pretty good. I think I went. I think I missed one trade on ES, but it was more of a shit trade where I was like, okay, let me just try this crazy scenario. If it works out, great. But otherwise, it was really good. I think I had almost 57 points on the day on ES. So it was a pretty solid day for myself.
Nice.
All right, thanks, Shorty.
All right, guys. Thank you. See you guys tomorrow.
Have a good night.
Thank you, Shorty.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, guys.